Hi, am I on the air?
Yep.
Fuck.
Thanks.
Do I have everybody's attention now? Do I have everybody's attention now?
Don, I got you.
Do I have everybody's
Sunday
attention
night.
now?
You put them cameras on me, then you must be willing to get that heart touch. This a must-see feeling. The news ain't good, then it must be villain. So I say a tag grounded, I don't trust these feelings. Spread across your nose, and I'm on your ear. Highest next on the cloud, hammer in the air. Sunday nights, prime time. I flex mine better. Voltron transform to DX Don. Mega and off-scene. You probably think I'm nice, cause I slow like a stream to your wireless device. And the smoke full of steam on any given night. How short like a piece of any given slice. And for the latest and what is best about I tune in and tune the rest out, Don. You gotta tell them, am I in the clear? Is this thing on? Am I on the air? On the air.
Hi, am I on the air?
Well, what is going down, everybody? Welcome back to the greatest entertainment podcast on the interwebs, your one-stop shop for all the latest and greatest in entertainment news, TV, movies, the whole nine. You know what it is. It's right here. It's Am I on the Air? I'm your host, Don Mega, and once again, welcome you. I can't welcome you enough to this December the 4th episode. We're broadcasting live here from the Red Dragons Radio Studios here in lovely Tucson, Arizona. Tonight, it's Season 15, Episode 8, and our episode tonight is called the Coco Express. Hence, I got two reviews for you, Coco being one of them, and Murder-on-the-Orient-Express being the other. So we'll talk about those two movies and non-spoiler reviews. But before we get started, I do want to shout out... For those of you that were wondering where last week's episode was, we decided to go ahead and put it off till today. Reason being is that our last episode, Come Together, was the title of that one. We recorded it midweek. So if I would have recorded a new episode on Sunday or Monday, it would have only been for a couple days. There wasn't enough that came out. The only movie review I had for you was Coco. I did want to talk about that, but I had my review up on Stardust, and I figured... it is what it is. Let's go to the following week. That way we can get you a full week, almost week and a half's worth of movie and TV news. So that's why I held it off. Another reason that I held off from doing a new episode is because I got the team together. I called up Peeps, called up Friggins, and we knocked out a brand new Am I Still on the Air? For those of you that have been listening to me for any long period of time, you know that I do a spin-off show every once in a while when there's an occasion to do it, called Am I Still on the Air? It's a very focus-driven podcast where we take one particular subject and kind of dive in and break it down. Here on Am I on the Air, we're all over the place. We're talking about TV news, movie news, reviews, everything in between. But the Am I Still on the Air takes one specific item and we dive into it for the entire episode. And one thing that we wanted to do was our very popular spoiler reviews. That's whenever a big movie comes out and we got a lot of different sides to it, we love to do our spoiler reviews. And of course, Justice League triggered that to happen. So we finally got the team together, and like I said, Friggins and Peeps joined me, and we sat down and we talked about everything about Justice League in full-on spoiler review, the good, the bad, and all the indifferent. So it was a really good review. That episode came out last week, so to kind of give that episode a little bit of breathing room, I decided to hold off on today's episode, or the newest episode of Am I on the Air, until today, so that one had enough breathing room to get some listens and get you guys to kind of follow along with it. So lots of Justice League stuff there for you. I told you on last week's show I actually did a big full-on spoiler review for Justice League myself alone, but I did it on our YouTube channel. So there's a full-on video of me diving into Justice League. I talk about the DCEU, kind of building up to it. So check that out. If you haven't seen my video exclusive breakdown on Justice League, definitely head on over to our YouTube page. It's youtube.com/AmIOnTheAir, and you'll see it right there. Just look for the Am I on the Air spoiler review of Justice League. And then, of course, now we have the audio podcast of me, Peeps, and Friggins doing our Justice League breakdown on Am I Still on the Air? So, a couple different spoiler reviews to dive into. Views and opinions were all over the place on this one. It's a really great listen, so check that out. Of course, so with those plugs out the way, let's jump into tonight's episode, and let's start with our movie reviews. I'm going to kind of work backwards a little bit. And I'm going to start with Murder-on-the-Orient-Express. This was a movie that came out actually like 3 weeks ago. We ended up not seeing it because we wanted to check out Daddy's Home 2. So we had to pick a movie and went with Daddy's Home 2. And boy, am I glad that I did. I'm just going to be right up front with this one. I hated this movie. I could not stand Murder-on-the-Orient-Express. You know, nothing really big came out this past Friday, so it was kind of a catch-up weekend at the movie theater, and decided, hey, the next best thing is Murder-on-the-Orient-Express. It's a movie I did want to see a couple weeks ago, couldn't due to availability, so let's check it out. And holy crap balls, was I disappointed. It starts off okay, but as soon as they board the train, I immediately lost interest. And I felt like half our movie theater lost interest too, because I have never seen such a restless movie theater before. People were just nonstop getting up, getting more popcorn, getting more soda, getting candy. People were just sitting down, getting up, sitting down, getting up. Every 5 minutes, multiple people were just leaving and then coming back a couple minutes later. It was very crazy. I found myself very restless. I was just kind of switching in my chair, left to right, up and down, recline, don't recline. I don't even know. I'm just like looking at my watch going, how long till this thing's over? Such a great cast. I absolutely loved this trailer when the trailer dropped. And I thought this is going to be a cool, intriguing little murder mystery. And it was just so boring. So boring, man. And then, the end of it was a joke to me. Nothing worked at all for me in this film, and I never want to see it again. I hate to do this to the Murder-on-the-Orient-Express. What I will say is that Kenneth Branagh directed it well. It looks very pretty, but the rest of it is just a joke. Some pretty bad acting at points, even from a stellar cast like this, and just overall, like I said, very boring. If I had to sum this movie up in one word, it's a snore fest. It's boring. Hey, you probably know the story by now. They go on a train, somebody gets murdered, and Detective blah blah blah, that I can't ever remember his name because it's so hard to even hear or understand, played by Kenneth Branagh, is trying to investigate. He's the world's greatest detective, and he's trying to figure out who committed this crime, and the rest is boring as shit. So Murder-on-the-Orient-Express gets a 1-star score from me. Yes, 1 out of 5 stars for Murder-on-the-Orient-Express. 1 out of 5 Don Megas. Save your money on this one. Wait for Netflix. Alright, well, luckily there was another movie that I saw. Actually saw last week on opening weekend, and just didn't get a chance to talk about it, and that's Coco, Disney Pixar's latest film. It does start off with about a 22-minute mini movie from Frozen called Olaf's Adventure. And that was pretty rough for kids to have to sit through. This little short has caused an extreme amount of controversy. Not that people aren't liking the little short, but the fact of the matter is when you're going to see a movie like Coco, which is a very specific demographic, it's a very specific story you're trying to tell, and most of us are bringing little kids to this thing, to throw on a 22-minute short to play before your movie that you came to see even starts causes a lot of trouble. Kids get antsy at movie theaters. Getting them to sit through an hour and a half, 2-hour movie as it is difficult, let alone throwing almost an entire half hour on top of it. The short was cute, but not needed, man. Way too long. Typically when they do these kind of shorts, they're 5-10 minutes max. This is way too long. It is going to be removed here after, I think, this upcoming weekend. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the news as we go on, but let's switch gears to Coco. Coco is a very sweet story about a little boy who loves to play music, but his family has pretty much barred it from happening because of something that went on in the past. He ends up, the Day of the Dead festival is going on. He ends up somehow crossing over into the Day of the Dead, and he's trying to figure out how to get back home. He's trying to find one of his idols, and he just wants to play his music. This is a tricky one for me to really get into specifics just because of spoilers. There are a lot of twists and turns in this story to kind of get you to understand the full thing. What I will say about it is Pixar does it again. When this trailer came out, I was like, not interested, I don't care, don't want to see it. My daughter, who just turned 4, wanted to go see this, so we went ahead and checked it out. And like I said, I went into it kind of being like, oh, whatever. And it was really good. It was really, really good. Pixar knows how to touch the heartstrings. They know how to make you connect to characters, and they did a phenomenal job in this movie doing it. So, and it's funny because there's a lot of guys that I've watched reviews on this thing say that they were brought to tears by it, and I said, come on, man, it's a Pixar movie, whatever. It's not going to draw me to tears. Well, I hate to say it, but they got me. They got me good at the end of this movie. Definitely drew me to tears. I connected with it on a very emotional level at the end. I was actually telling a friend last week about a particular scene in the movie that did make me cry, and I started to cry again just explaining the scene. So that's how powerful it was. I couldn't believe it. I was like, damn you, Pixar. A very sweet movie. I think you'll very much enjoy this film. The music's very good. The heart is good. The story is good. It's visually very beautiful. Pixar kills it once again, man. So for me, on Coco, I'll give Coco 4 out of 5 stars. Really, really solid, good film. Go check it out. All right. So there's your 2 movie reviews that we get caught up on. We have Murder-on-the-Orient-Express, 1 out of 5, and Coco, 4 out of 5. Let's switch gears. Let's get into our news and get you caught up in all the latest and greatest in entertainment news. Seth Meyers is going to host the 75th annual Golden Globe Awards, so that's pretty cool there. He's a great host, and I think he'll do a really solid job on that there. And then, so it sucks that I haven't even given it a chance and watched it myself, but Netflix had brought back Mystery Science Theater 3000, which was something I used to watch all the time back in the day. But yeah, Netflix revived it and did very well. So Netflix has announced that they have renewed it for another season. So congratulations to them on there with that. We have Everything Wrong with Cars 3 in 14 minutes or less. We have Everything Wrong with the Emoji Movie, which is probably everything in the damn movie. On top of that, we also have the Honest trailer for the Emoji Movie, which is really damn funny. Let's see here. I know we already talked about a bunch of these new trailers that dropped. Man, I've already lost my damn place. Son of a bitch. Sorry. We got an article up. Series finale alert. All the TV shows that will be ending in 2018. So if you're not sure what's going on with your latest one, definitely check that out. Dancing with the Stars to air an all-athlete season in the spring. So if you're a fan of that show, that's what's coming up soon. Universal Pictures has pulled the sci-fi thriller Extinction from their release schedule. The film is starring Michael Pena and Lizzie Kaplan. It was supposed to open literally next month on January 26th, and they've just pulled it. No explanation. Nobody knows what's going on. Obviously, we've never even seen a trailer for this film. Pretty crazy being that it was supposed to come out literally next month. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. Thanksgiving weekend's box office, of course, Coco was the big winner there. Coco opened up early before Thanksgiving on Wednesday, so its 5-day take was $71.2 million. So very nice 5-day take for Coco. Good news, too, from Justice League's front over on that Thanksgiving weekend. It only dropped about 50% from week 1 to week 2, which was a great, great drop. Most superhero movies dive 60 to 70% in that second week, and so that's showing some of the good fan word of mouth, keeping people going, checking it out. Over its 5 days, it still brought in about $60 million, which was a really good second week haul for Justice League. we got your first official look at Deathstroke. Joe Manganiello tweeted out a picture of him in costume, so you can actually see the full-on photo of him, which is pretty awesome. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5 debuted, and I hate to say it, but I was not a fan of it. It was a 2-hour season premiere. They're in space. It's kind of in the future. What the hell's going on? This is not what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is about. I might be in the minority here. I know a lot of people, including our buddy Friggins and some other people, were like, oh man, that premiere was so great. I don't see what was so great about it. It bored the shit out of me, and I just wanted them to get back to Earth. I didn't find anything very interesting going on in this premiere, and I'm a massive fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've been a promoter of this show literally since season 1. It's one of my favorite shows on television. So, you know, I was very disappointed that this was the premiere because it definitely let me down. But I'll stick with it, and hopefully it turns itself around. But definitely check out my Stardust reactions for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because they're classic, that's for sure. I want to shout out a couple other shows before I get back to the news. I've been kind of binging through some stuff. Over on Hulu, there's a show called Future Man. Stars Josh Hutcherson. It's kind of like a Last Starfighter kind of thing. He's a great video game player at this one particular game. He ends up beating the game, and a couple soldiers from the video game come to visit him and are like, we need to take you, and we're going to time travel, and we need your help to fight the war and the resistance. And because he beat the game was a test to see who the best fighter is. And very Last Starfighter, which was one of my favorite movies from back in the day. They even make an overall joke about that in the show. And it's a little half-hour show. All the episodes are up on Hulu right now, and I'm on episode, I think, 5. I wasn't overly thrilled with the pilot. I was kind of disappointed because I loved the trailer and I thought the concept was really cool. But the show has definitely grown on me as the episodes go on and the story's evolving. I'm kind of getting with it more and more and more. It's directed and produced and everything by Seth Rogen and his producing partner Evan Goldberg. They do Preacher as well. So it's got some really good moments in it, and definitely check that out if you have Hulu. And speaking of Hulu, another thing I want to say that I checked out and really was not fond of in the beginning, but it's turning around for me, is another Marvel property. It's their new show, The Runaways. And I watched the first episode and fell asleep. I rewatched it and fell asleep. It took me 3 times to get through the pilot episode, and I still didn't like it. I was like, oh my god, this show, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's about these kids, in a non-spoilery way, it's about these kids, a group of friends who find out that their parents are kind of like villains, and they witness something they shouldn't have. And that's what happens pretty much in the first episode. In the second episode, you kind of see a retelling of the first episode, but from the parents' perspective, which I thought was pretty unique. Third episode kind of won me over, and I think it was a 4th episode. I think I've seen 4 now. The 4th episode was a done deal for me. After the 4th one, I was like, okay, now I'm into the show. So it took me 4 episodes to really get into it. Now, it sucks because it's one of these Hulu shows that only releases 1 episode a week. So I ended up catching up, and now I'm like, oh, I want to see the next episode. So give Marvel's The Runaways a chance. It's a pretty unique, interesting show. Like I said, if the first episode doesn't grab you, don't stress. It didn't grab me either. Like I said, it took to the 3rd, 4th episode for me to finally get going on it. And for those of you looking for an update on Punisher, I'm still working my way through it. I'm about halfway through the season right now. I'm on episode 7. So it's a slow burn, man. Punisher is a slow burn. It's not the kind of show you just binge episode after episode after episode. It's such a dark and dreary kind of show. I'm over it after 1 or 2 episodes. I got to take a break. So we'll continue our pacing through on Punisher. All right. A lot of trailers have started dropping for the new Black Mirror episodes. I love the show Black Mirror. It's a very cool, creepy, kind of crazy show. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's on Netflix. You can catch up with all the previous seasons right now and get ready for the new one. Excuse me. Let's see here. We got an article up with all the best Easter eggs and references from the Punisher show that you can check out if you're interested. Let's see. Walking Dead character Morgan Jones, played by Lenny James, is going to cross over with Fear the Walking Dead. So I'm glad that we're slowly starting to get into more crossover stuff. I don't watch either show, but it's very nice to see. They need to do that more, man, for sure. James Cameron has revealed the first details of Kate Winslet's character in the upcoming Avatar sequel. She's a character who's part of the Sea People, the Reef People that they've created for the film. 4 really cool Avengers Vanity Fair covers celebrating the 10th anniversary of the MCU came out. Pretty cool. You get to see some updated photos of all our favorite heroes in the MCU, and I put together kind of a little collage of the 4 covers and put it up on our Instagram page. So check us out. If you're not following us on Instagram, just search Am I on the Air and give us a follow and check out these Vanity Fair posters. They're pretty cool. James Cameron has also offered up some new details on the Avatar sequel, so check that out if you're interested. I won't read it. I won't spoil anything for anybody. A TV series in development about the UK Rendlesham UFO incident. I don't even know what this is, but it happened in the 80s. It's referred to as Britain's Roswell, and they're working on putting something together on that. Going back to Avatar again, James Cameron says that the 4th and 5th movies are not guaranteed. He says they have not been greenlit by the studio right now, and if number 2 and 3 don't do very well, then we're not going to get a 4 and 5. So it all depends on the success, which is pretty standard, I'd say. But it's also kind of interesting because you knew he was working on all these simultaneously, so it's good to see that they're still being cautious and not just diving into everything. Eddie Redmayne and Felicity Jones are in talks to team up for Amazon Studios' new film, The Aeronauts. Kevin Feige says that Avengers 4 will basically be a finale for the MCU. This was pretty interesting news. Avengers 4 will hit theaters in 2019, basically saying that this is a finale. This is the culmination of 22 films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. A lot of people are assuming that it just means we're not going to tell any more stories featuring these characters, and I don't think that that's the case. I think basically what he's saying is that, any connectivity, any stories they've set up, everything they've done up to this point will kind of tie a knot on that, and that'll close that chapter. And then we're going to move on to basically a whole new kind of chapter and whole new realm, which will continue on with like Doctor Strange 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and all this kind of stuff that's coming out down the hill, the Spider-Man 2 and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to still see our characters kind of continue on, but Avengers 4 will be kind of the closing chapter that started with Iron Man 1, and we're going to set that one aside, so you won't need to... Basically, the way I looked at it is 22 movies is a lot, right? You're trying to connect all these dots. So when we start with the next phase of whatever they do, you're not going to have to worry about, oh, hey, I remember that connecting in Iron Man 2, or I remember that in Thor: The Dark World, because all that stuff will kind of be out of the way, and they're going to start all new kind of mythology going forward after this point. And it could have to do with time change, alternate dimensions. Who knows what's going to go on with Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet? So we'll see. Marvel's kind of getting a little hazy at this point in what's going on in the future here. Early Jumanji reactions have come out, and they are praising this movie. Says that the cast is great, the thrills are great, the chemistry is great between everybody, and that it's just a really fun family thrill ride. So I love it. I love hearing great early word about a movie, and I was already looking forward to Jumanji, and I'm glad to hear that people are loving it so far. Congratulations to the new movie Lady Bird. It has just set a Rotten Tomatoes record as the best reviewed movie of all time. That's pretty damn solid right there, dude. Best reviewed movie of all time at 100% fresh Rotten Tomatoes. I never even heard of this movie, never even saw a trailer, but congratulations to it getting 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Alright, another new trailer dropped, and it's the official trailer for Paddington 2. I feel like this movie's been coming out for like the last 2 years. I just keep feeling like trailers are dropping, but the movie never releases. But it finally gets a full trailer. You can check that one out. Outlander is in early season 5 renewal talks, so they're trying to figure that out right now. Fergie is set to host Fox's new American Idol successor series. So let me stress, American Idol successor series, not American Idol. She's going to host the new show The 4, Battle for Stardom, which is their replacement for American Idol that kicks off on January 4th. So that's cool. I love Fergie. I think she'll be a good host for that. Daredevil Season 3 has added Heart of Dixie actor Wilson Bethel for a critical role. What that will be, who has no clue. Focus Features will release the documentary Won't You Be My Neighbor about the life and work of Fred Rogers in 2018. Jeremy Piven's new show Wisdom of the Crowd has been canceled by CBS after just 13 episodes. Kind of figures this one would get canceled with all the stuff coming out about Jeremy Piven in the news lately. It's unfortunate. I thought this show looked really cool. I actually had all the episodes on my DVR. Just hadn't had a chance to start it yet. But it seemed like a really cool new show. And unfortunately, it's been given the axe, so I just deleted all the episodes off my DVR. And we'll let that one rest. Saturday Night Live, James Franco is set to host next week. Kevin Hart will also host later in December, which is pretty awesome. CBS has given Man with a Plan and Superior Donuts full season orders, which is pretty awesome. I do love both of these shows. Man with a Plan is very cute and quirky kind of comedy. I like Matt LeBlanc in this show. And Superior Donuts, man, I don't know what it is about this show, but it's a good little just 20-minute waster to get a couple laughs in. So glad to see CBS hooking those two up. James Franco hopes that his Multiple Man movie will push the X-Men franchise into a new genre. We'll see what happens with that. MTV is reviving Jersey Shore, and everyone but one cast member is going to be returning for that. So, yeah. Sorry, my computer's starting to lag on me. Stop lagging. Stop lagging on me. Sorry about that. Sometimes, man, just can't keep up with my notes. All right, we got another new Everything Wrong With. This time it's Arrival in 16 minutes or less. I agree with that one because there's a lot wrong with Arrival for me, man. I hated that damn movie. We also have the Honest trailer for The Room. That, of course, is the movie that The Disaster Artist is based on. That's what I wanted to see at the theater last weekend instead of Murder-on-the-Orient-Express was The Disaster Artist, but it's not playing anywhere in town. It really made me sad. We have your full list of all the Grammy nominees that you can check out. Netflix has announced The Coming of Awkward, a new comedy drama series about sex education coming in 2019. We got some pictures from the new Empire Star Wars covers. Got the light side and the dark side. Pretty typical stuff there from a Star Wars front. John Stamos is set to play Dr. Nicky in a new Lifetime movie called You. Crisis on Earth X. This is something I wanted to talk about. This happened last week. This was the big CW crossover that basically had Supergirl, the Green Arrow, Flash, and the Legends of Tomorrow kind of all team up. They do an annual team up. Last year it started with their Invasion special, which was pretty good, but it didn't feel as big of a crossover event as this one did. They did this one right. They moved all the shows into 2 nights. Last year, you had to watch 4 nights in a row, and you got 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. What they did this year is they put Supergirl on, and then it went right into Arrow, and then the next night, you had Flash right into Legends of Tomorrow. So they kind of wrapped each other up within 2 nights, a 4-hour block, and they killed it, man. I loved it. Crisis on Earth X was an amazing crossover. If you haven't seen it yet and you're a fan of these shows, watch it. Even if you're a fan of just like Flash or Arrow or Supergirl individually, watch the whole crossover because you'll have a lot of fun with these characters and what they do in this thing. I was so impressed. The Earth X, they were doppelgangers of them that came over. So you had the Dark Hood, you had a Supergirl that was evil, you had all the basic evil versions. Reverse Flash came back. Lots of crazy stuff. So it was a great crossover. Check out Crisis on Earth X if you haven't seen that yet. Let's see here. Let me see. All right, we got writer Stephen Knight is set to tackle Charles Dickens' novel for TV. He will pen a series of adaptations, and they're going to start with A Christmas Carol. So that's where that one's going to go. We have a first look at the Avengers Infinity War teaser poster It's nothing much to it, but if you go back and you look at the first Avengers movie poster and you look at the first Age of Ultron poster, it's the same thing. It's just an elaboration on the Avengers A in different font and different coloring. So it kind of fits that theme, but overall I was a little underwhelmed. I wanted something really cool to come out of it. Nicolette Sheridan has been cast as Alexis Carrington in the new Dynasty TV show on the CW. And then, of course, speaking of Avengers Infinity War, the trailer dropped, and we all lost our minds last week. The first teaser trailer finally dropped. It's only about 2 minutes long. It doesn't show, honestly, for being 2 minutes long, it doesn't show all that much. It's a very dramatic trailer, but when it hits, it hits. You get to see all of your familiar faces, you know, Hulk and Black Widow, who is now blonde, and a Captain America with a beard, and Black Panther. Get this man a shield. You know, we see all of these, you know, Thor, Iron Man, of course, Doctor Strange. You see everything kind of coming together. Of course, we even see, you know, hints of Spider-Man and the spider senses tingling. We get to see the new Spider-Man suit that was teased at the end of Homecoming. So many good visuals in this thing, and of course, the big thing, the reveal of Thanos, played by Josh Brolin, who just looks so badass. This is a hell of a trailer. It looks like shit is going to get wrecked. You see Loki, he's got the Tesseract. I think he's going to hand it over to Thanos. Oh, man. It's just, this movie's going to be on just a whole nother level, man. It's going to be so insane. So, yeah. Check this trailer out if you haven't seen it. Head on over to amiontheair.com. Click on our trailers tab. It's the very top trailer ready to rock on top of the screen. Right there, man. It's so cool to see literally almost everybody in the entire MCU. The only people I noticed missing in this thing was Ant-Man and Hawkeye. I don't know where they were in this trailer, but we see some great moments in this thing. You get to see the gauntlet. You see 2 gems on the gauntlet. We see Bucky in Wakanda. We see a big Wakanda fight going on with a bunch of aliens versus the Wakandans. And who's leading the charge? Captain America with Black Panther, Hulk, Scarlet, Black Widow, Bucky, War Machine, Falcon, all coming swooping in. And of course, you always get a little tag at the end of the trailer, and it's Thor going, "Who the hell are you guys?" And it's the Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh man, awesome stuff. The movie comes out in May. This is a hell of a trailer. I can't wait to see the first full trailer where we get to see a little bit more to the film. But this is a hell of a teaser. This teaser, I will jump into another news article, which is that this is the most watched trailer of all time. It was viewed over 230 million times, over 33 million times more than the previous most watched trailer of all time. So Marvel knows how to do it. Avengers Infinity War, the biggest trailer ever. We all love it. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Unless you're living under a rock, I don't know how you couldn't have not seen it, but go watch it. It is worth it, my friends. Actress Dove Cameron has joined Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5 in a mystery role, so we'll see what that ends up being. Meghan Markle is officially leaving Suits after Season 7. Evangeline Lilly has revealed big details on the plot for Ant-Man and the Wasp. You'll have to read that yourself if you're interested. I'm not going to give it up to you. Remember, all these news we talk about are on our Twitter and our Facebook page, so if you're wondering, well, you always tells me to go look at it, where do I go? Go to our social media. It's all there for you, my friends. Bradley Whitford and Toby Kebbell and Scoot McNairy have joined Nicole Kidman in the new crime thriller Destroyer. We have the very brand new trailer for All the Money in the World. This was the movie that they kicked Kevin Spacey out of. It comes out literally in a month, and they kicked him out. They brought on Christopher Plummer, and they reshot all his scenes. And it was pretty interesting to see this trailer with Christopher Plummer popping up in the role. It was very weird to me because I kept thinking in my head about the other trailer with Kevin Spacey, and I'm like, it's so odd to me that they just swapped him out for another actor. But the movie still looks pretty cool. Check that out if you haven't seen it yet. We also have an interview up with Ridley Scott as he finally breaks his silence on replacing Kevin Spacey in the movie as well. We have 55 screenshots from the Avengers Infinity War trailer that you can check out if you want to see it in greater detail. We have the mid-season finale trailers for The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, as well, that you can check out. Those all have their mid-season finales this week. We have all your free games coming to PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold in December. Chinese actress Liu Yifei has landed the lead role in Disney Studios' live-action Mulan film. She previously appeared in The Forbidden Kingdom with Jackie Chan, and she's now the lead Mulan. That's pretty cool, man. I think it's a great casting choice for Mulan. I'm glad they didn't just go get like Kristen Stewart or some shit. It's great. Let's see here. The new Showtime show Smilf has been renewed for season 2. I need to check that one out. I've heard good things, actually. The TV show Ghosted has been given 6 more episodes, and it has a new showrunner, so they will have a total of 16 episodes this season. I like this show. It was off to a pretty piss-poor start, I'll be honest. The first couple episodes, I was like, but it found its footing, and the chemistry between Craig Robinson and Adam Scott is great, and now I really dig the show, so it's a fun little half hour. Chris Evans is set to narrate an 8-part National Geographic documentary called Chain of Command. Scarlett Johansson confirms that Captain Marvel's involvement in Avengers 4. She will be there in the 4th Avengers movie. That makes sense. That's totally something we predicted. She's not going to be in Avengers 3 because we haven't been introduced to her yet, but then we'll get her movie and then we'll bring her into 4. Maggie Grace is joining the cast of Fear the Walking Dead Season 4. We have an article up with the directors of Infinity War explaining the reason why Thanos is not wearing his armor in the latest trailer. So check that out. A lot of people were complaining he didn't have his helmet and his full armor on. Daphne and Velma to star in their own solo live-action feature film. Why? That's the exact same question I'm asking. So I'm just going to move on from that one. Let's see here. My goodness. Showrunners Brian Fuller and Michael Green have departed from the Starz show American Gods. Not sure why. Creative differences, I guess. I love American Gods. I thought they did great in season 1. Looking forward to season 2. So I'm a little sad that they're leaving the show. Big Little Lies actress Catherine Newton is joining the live-action Pokemon movie. A Superfly remake is in the works over at Sony. Yes, so that Superfly, the 1972 blaxploitation film, is getting a remake over at Sony. Warner Brothers has set up some release dates for Tag, Shaft, and Goldfinch. Tag's being moved up, and it looks like Shaft and Goldfinch are being moved back to 2019. Matthew Vaughn is in negotiations to produce and possibly direct a new sci-fi film called Courage. Let's see here. We have some new Maze Runner, The Death Cure posters. The movie comes out next month. Congratulations to Chris Evans and Jenny Slate. They are back together again. They broke up within the past 6 months or so, I think. Maybe it was longer, but good to see them back. We have your first look at John Hamm as the Archangel Gabriel in Neil Gaiman's Good Omens, which you can check out. Mindhunter has officially been renewed for season 2 over on Netflix. Congratulations to Disney Studios. They crossed the $5 billion mark at the global box office for the 3rd year in a row, as Thor Ragnarok just passed the $800 million mark itself. Lionsgate has set some release dates for the new Hellboy reboot and their new movie Kin. It sucks because the Hellboy reboot is not going to be released till 2019, so it sucks. I thought it was going to come out later in 2018. James Mangold is set to adapt the children's novel Crenshaw for the big screen. I never even heard of that one. CBS has ordered the adventure series Blood and Treasure for summer of 2019. Netflix has added 5 more people to the cast of The Umbrella Academy. I don't know any of these 5 that they've hired. Nobody looks familiar to me there. CBS All Access has ordered a new fairy tale based psychological thriller called Tell Me a Story, and it's from Kevin Williamson. That's a name I haven't heard of in a while. He of course did the Scream series, I Know What You Did Last Summer. He knows his stuff about thrillers, so good to see him coming back. Ken Jeong is joining the cast of Fox's A Christmas Story Live. Linda Cardellini is joining Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali in Peter Farrelly's new film, The Green Book. We got some info about Benicio del Toro's character in Star Wars The Last Jedi. I know people are crazy about Star Wars, so I won't read any more about that. Michael B. Jordan is set to direct... not direct this one. He's directing something else, but he's set to star in a new legal drama called Just Mercy. It's based on the book Just Mercy, A Story of Justice and Redemption. David S. Goyer is in talks to direct Masters of the Universe. That's pretty cool. I like Goyer. Some people don't like him, but I think he's a good pick there, and they need to get going on this damn He-Man movie, so I think he's somebody that can bring it. I know he was working on the script himself, so there you go. Rosario Dawson and Eric Andre have split up, so we get one couple back together and another one gone. The Roseanne revival has confirmed Johnny Galecki's return, so he will be back for that. We have your first trailer for the new weird-looking Batman movie called Batman Ninja. I don't know where they're going with some of these animated films. We have another new trailer for Acts of Violence, starring Bruce Willis. Margot Robbie reveals that there's another Harley Quinn movie spin-off in development. She says it's not Gotham City Sirens, it's not Suicide Squad 2, it's not the Mad Love movie with her and Joker, but another spin-off. I don't know what's going on over in DC, man. Do they really have that many Harley Quinn movies planned? So we'll see what happens with that. We got a new trailer for Midnight Sun starring Bella Thorne and Patrick Schwarzenegger. Stranger Things 2 has officially been renewed for Season 3, even though I could have sworn we reported Season 3 and 4 were already greenlit by Netflix. This is an official greenlight announcement from Netflix, so there you go. Patty Jenkins has teased some ideas for her Wonder Woman 2 movie, so you can check that out. Comes out in 2019. We have the first full trailer for Jack Ryan starring John Krasinski. That'll be coming on Amazon. We have all your movie and TV titles that are coming to Starz in December. Dwayne Johnson teases his Fast and Furious spinoff. He says they got a lot of surprises. They're working really hard on this Hobbs and Shaw spinoff that they're going to be doing. He says stay tuned for some big announcements soon. The 9th Quentin Tarantino movie will hit theaters on August 9th, 2019. There's a brand new Sabrina the Teenage Witch series, which was going to be on the CW, was going to be a spinoff of their hit show Riverdale, but it looks like it's now been moved and Netflix has picked it up. Netflix has given a 2-season order to the show Sabrina, 20-episode order over on Netflix. James Franco is set to star and direct a Shel Silverstein biopic film. The Rock also talks about some new details about the Jungle Cruise movie that he's going to be doing. Still no official release date yet. We have your first look at Brenton Thwaites as Robin in the new DC live-action show Titans that they're putting together. This will be a part of DC's new streaming service. I got to tell you, man, I thought Brenton was a good cast pick for Robin, but seeing him in the suit is pretty badass. It's a great Robin suit, and definitely looking forward to Titans. I will subscribe to this DC service just for this show. Daisy Ridley came out in an interview, and then all these articles are running saying that she sees that she's done playing Rey after episode 9, but then an article came out today saying that her words were kind of taken out of context, and that wasn't really the case of what she was trying to do. So who knows what's going on with Daisy Ridley at this point, but it made it seem like in the original thing that she was done after episode 9 and that she was pretty much had nothing left to prove, unless, maybe years later they wanted to bring her back for something, maybe she would, but at this point she was pretty much out after episode 9. Kind of dumb on her part, I think. Don't push away Star Wars, man. I hate these young actors that just get so hold on to it, man. You're going to get plenty of other jobs. You're going to get to do plenty of other things. She was great in Murder-on-the-Orient-Express, even though I hated it. I thought Daisy really did a great job. So don't run away from what made you popular. This is a really weird piece of news here. Production has been suspended on Bohemian Rhapsody, reportedly due to a Bryan Singer health matter. Bryan Singer has been directing the Freddie Mercury biopic film Bohemian Rhapsody for a while now, and they went on break for Thanksgiving, and after the Thanksgiving break, everybody came back to work, but Bryan Singer. So they were not able to continue production. Supposedly, no one's heard from him. It's a very weird thing. No one knows what's going on. It's unexpected unavailability is the exact quote from the studio. Supposedly the director and his family are dealing with a personal health matter. I hope everything is okay. I like Bryan Singer as a director. I was looking very forward to Bohemian Rhapsody, and it's very weird that he's just kind of gone MIA all of a sudden. So hopefully we'll get more answers on this here soon. Very, very weird news right here on this. We have Everything Wrong with Transformers The Last Night. That dropped as well. Plus the new trailer for Thoroughbreds starring Anton Yelchin, Anna Taylor-Joy, and Olivia Cook. Disney has officially re-entered talks with Fox over ownership of their movie and TV division. That gets me very excited. I just want Disney to buy out the Fox rights. Just buy out the Fox rights so they get back Mutants, they get back X-Men, they get back Fantastic Four. Come on. Disney, whether they buy anything else, they need to buy that stuff back. And then Hugh Jackman will come back as Wolverine. We'll get him in Avengers 5. It'll be so glorious. Let's see here. I know we're getting pretty close to wrapping up the news here. Let me see here. Sorry. Just making sure some of the stuff we already talked about. So we talked earlier about that Olaf's Frozen Adventure. It is leaving the Coco screenings after December 7th. And some people are saying it's because of all the stuff that people have been bitching about. But Disney has stated no, this was always the case. It was a limited time engagement. And December 7th was always the end date for it. So if you want to see it, get to see Coco before then. If not, I don't know what to tell you. So we have a new Star Wars The Last Jedi, The Skywalker Legacy trailer that you can check out. We have all the details from The Last Jedi Sunday's press conference that went down just yesterday. Let's check that out if you want some more news. The new Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom trailer comes out this Friday, so keep an eye out on our social media for that when it drops. But they put out a pretty cool little teaser for it, which is pretty much Chris Pratt running from dinosaurs. So I hope this trailer is cool. I'm looking forward to this movie here. We have your first look at Netflix's new sci-fi series called Altered Carbon, which looks pretty damn cool, so take a look at that. Zachary Levi, who's going to be playing Shazam, says that the movie should surprise people like Guardians of the Galaxy. He says that they have a lot of fun, it's going to be a lot of good action, the humor is going to be there, and that people should really... he just says that the kind of flow and vibe of it will be like Guardians. The Tokyo Comic-Con reel for Pacific Rim Uprising is now online, so you can check that out. We posted a link. We have the new trailer for Flower, starring Zoe Dutch and Adam Scott. House of Cards is set to resume production in 2018 with a shorter final season, and it will move Robin Wright as the main character of the show, because we know what happened there. Ryan Felipe's drama Shooter has been renewed by the USA Network for a third season. Kristen Bell is set to host the SAG Awards, the Screen Actors Guild Awards, which will go down Sunday, January 21st, 2018. And we have your first look at the trailer for Bill Hader's new Hitman show, HBO's new show, Barry. So check that out. And with that being said, my friends, that is all the news up until a couple hours ago. So on that note, we will talk about release dates and we'll wrap this baby up. Out on DVD and Blu-ray tomorrow is going to be Despicable Me 3 and American Assassin. I already got Despicable Me 3 on digital for my daughter. We love that movie. American Assassin was just okay. In theaters this Friday will be The Shape of Water, Just Getting Started, and in limited release, I, Tonya. And here's your weekend box office. Coming in number 10 is A Bad Mom's Christmas with 3.5 mil. Number 9 is The Star with 4 million. Number 8 is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri with 4.5 million. Number 7 is Lady Bird with 4.5 mil. Number 6 is Murder-on-the-Orient-Express with 6.7 million. Number 5 is Daddy's Home 2 with 7.5. Number 4 is Thor Ragnarok with 9.7. Number 3 is Wonder with 12.5. Number 2 is Justice League with 16.6. And number 1 for the second week in a row is Coco with $26.1 million. So there you go, my friends. That is the box office wrap-up for you and all the releases on Blu-ray, DVD, and in theaters this week. Not much coming out theatrical-wise. I'm a little bummed. I'm an Amazon Prime member, and I got a nice little invitation saying I could see Jumanji early for being a Prime member, and went to buy tickets, and there was like 1 seat left, and that sucks. So I was looking forward to maybe seeing that this Friday, but I guess not now. That'll do it, my friends. Thank you so much for getting caught up with me and all the latest and greatest entertainment news. I hope you all have a great week. I hope you all did end up having a great Thanksgiving, and now we head towards Christmas. So make sure you check out our official webpage. It's amiontheair.com. That's where you can watch all the latest trailers. You can look at movie reviews, listen to the shows. It's all right there in one nice spot for you. You could check out even that video, our YouTube video on the Justice League spoiler review. You can check that out on our webpage. You can also check out the Am I Still in the Air spoiler review podcast with Friggins and Peeps and myself. And, of course, everything else in between. amiontheair.com. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/amiontheair. You could follow us on Twitter at amiontheair. You can follow me on Twitter at dxdonmega. And you can also subscribe to us on iTunes. Download, rate, and subscribe. If iTunes ain't your thing, you can always listen to us on Stitcher, on Spreaker, on Google Play Music. We're all over the interwebs there. Tune in. Of course, follow us on Instagram. And make sure you follow us on Stardust. You can follow me directly on Stardust. It's a really cool movie and TV review app where I can post up 30-second mini reviews, spoiler, non-spoiler, whatever the case may be, up on the Stardust app. You can download it on your smartphone and follow me on the app at Don Mega. And follow me first when you download it, and I think you'll really like it. I post up pretty much right after I watch something, so you can get an instant review reaction from me. So follow me on Stardust. Follow me everywhere else. And have a great week, everybody. And of course, got to shout out RedDragonsRadio.com, our great affiliates. Follow on Twitter at Red Dragons Radio, so you'll always know what's going down with all the best podcasts on the web. And with that all being said, thank you so much once again for listening. Have a great week, everybody. And until next time, y'all. Peace!
Bye, everybody.
Red Dragons!
Red Dragons.